This is the AI News Flash for May 27, 10 a.m. UTC. First up, Fortune and Bloomberg exclusive report. China officially imposes overseas travel restrictions on top domestic AI talent, escalating the US-China AI rivalry into a decisive talent retention battle. The new rules target startup founders, researchers, and executives at Alibaba, DeepSeek, and other strategic Chinese AI firms. They must now seek government approval before traveling abroad. This dramatically expands existing passport restrictions previously limited to academics and state sector employees with the goal of protecting domestic AI trade secrets. The backdrop is intensifying US-China AI geopolitical competition. In April, Beijing blocked Meta's $2 billion Manus acquisition and barred the co-founders from leaving China. Combined with Huawei Ascend AI chip domestic production and DeepSeek V4 open-source strategy, China is building a fully independent AI tech stack to counter U.S. export controls. Carnegie China director Damian Ma warned that talent retention ultimately depends on incentives. Carrots matter more than sticks. The long-term risk is that restrictive measures could damage China's ability to attract and retain elite AI talent, creating a dilemma between short-term protection and long-term competitiveness. This marks a critical 2026 milestone in US-China AI geopolitics. Second story, Axios exclusive report, AI industry giants. OpenAI and Anthropic are now openly clashing over the AI jobs apocalypse debate, exposing a fundamental split within the AI industry over labor market impact. Anthropic takes the pessimistic stance. Chris Olah declared at the Vatican that AI is likely to displace human labor at very large scale, asserting major workforce replacement. OpenAI's Sam Altman takes the opposite view, admitting his early predictions were wrong and expressing surprise that entry-level white-collar job losses have not materialized as severely as feared. Real-world data backs both sides. Unemployment increases are concentrated in low AI exposure sectors. Software developer job postings are up 18% year over year. LinkedIn analysis shows AI has created roughly 1.3 million new jobs, indicating that AI labor replacement and AI job creation are happening simultaneously in a structural divergence. Against Goldman Sachs's 300 million global AI automation impact prediction, Dallas Fed data showing 13% job declines for AI-related roles among 22 to 25-year-olds and 158,000 AI-driven layoffs across the tech industry, AI labor market impact is bifurcating by industry and role. This sets up AI employment policy as a major 2026 midterm election issue, with the AI industry's top leadership now fundamentally divided. Third story, Quartz exclusive report. AI-generated podcasts are now flooding Spotify and Apple Podcasts in massive numbers, marking a decisive escalation of the consumer AI slop problem into the podcast medium. If the phenomenon centers on automated AI narration, mass-producing low-quality content. Major platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts are seeing infestation levels making human-curated detection difficult, with the term podslop now established. Premium human-produced podcast content visibility is severely impaired across the major streaming platforms. Mirroring the Spotify daily 60,000 AI-generated songs problem, where 39% of all tracks are AI-generated and 85% involve fraudulent streaming, the podcast space now faces structurally similar issues. Merriam-Webster's selection of AI slop as 2025 Word of the Year reflects mainstream consumer AI backlash, spreading into audio formats. Compared to Apple Music's March mandatory transparency tag rollout, Bandcamp's January AI music ban, and Spotify's permissive optional disclosure approach, podcast platform responses are dramatically lagging. The risk of fundamental podcast experience quality degradation is now real, positioning this as a critical 2026 consumer AI governance frontier. Fourth story, CIO.com exclusive warning. Companies spending billions of dollars on AI worker training are likely to see most of that investment fail, raising fundamental questions about enterprise AI implementation governance. The root cause is companies skipping behavioral profile assessment before redesigning roles. Investment in training proceeds without evaluating AI redesign fit. 63% of executives view AI work redesign as their highest return investment, yet only 32% say their workforce is actually ready, exposing a severe readiness gap. Training alone fails structurally because training is a multiplier, not a foundation. Providing instruction to employees whose behavioral profiles don't fit redesigned roles merely produces a person with an expensive certificate doing the exact same job they did yesterday. Despite 98% of executives planning organizational redesigns within 2 years, most proceed without measuring people's capacity to execute.
The success case is presented. A maintenance supply distributor built a predictive model identifying behavioral patterns of top performers before deploying targeted training, achieving 20% net sales growth and $89,000 additional revenue per employee. Against the hyperscaler $725 billion 2026 CapEx boom, fundamental questions about AI training ROI now mark a critical 2026 enterprise AI talent strategy milestone.
Fifth story. Foreign Policy Magazine exclusive analysis. The AI policy clash between Pope Leo XIV and President Trump is now becoming sharply defined, marking a decisive moment in global AI governance framework formation. At the core of the conflict, Pope Leo XIV's first encyclical Magnifica Humanitas of May 15, a 42,300-word document, expressed deep concern over AI weaponization, mass surveillance, and worker exploitation, asserting AI must serve humanity and not concentrate power. This stands in fundamental tension with the Trump administration's AI Action Plan deregulatory stance, prioritizing U.S. AI technology dominance. The global AI governance impact is profound. The Pope represents 1.4 billion Catholic faithful worldwide and laid out ethical guidelines across 4 domains: autonomous weapons, mass surveillance, AI-driven inequality, and worker exploitation. This creates sharp tension with the U.S.-led AI governance framework, prioritizing U.S. strategic dominance, ushering global AI ethics debate into a new dimension. Against OpenAI, Altman's Global AI Agency proposal, G7 AI SBOM guidance, EU AI Act, and 38 U.S. state AI regulations forming a global AI governance framework, religious institution intervention now adds historic influence. AI policy is poised to become a major 2026 midterm election issue, making the Pope Leo XIV versus Trump clash a critical 2026 global AI governance milestone. That's all for this AI news flash.